You sit in the dark. The door is locked. There is no one else for miles. And yet, the room is crowded. In the absolute center of your mind, a voice begins to speak. It doesn't use your name, but it has cataloged every misstep, every microscopic failure, every moment you stumbled when the lights were on. It has turned those moments over in the dark for years, polishing them until they gleam like surgical steel. It holds them up, inspects the edges, and delivers the cold, flat verdict: this is your fault. Why? Why does an organ designed for calculation choose to spend its energy acting as an internal inquisitor? We spend our lives looking outward. For judges, the cold glance of a stranger, the expectations of the crowd, the silent disapproval of the culture. But those are only shadows. The real tribunal is upstairs. It runs an unremitting, unscheduled trial where you are permanently on the stand, permanently defenseless, and permanently condemned. We are going to enter that courtroom. We are not here to offer comfort, and we are not here to heal the wound with soothing platitudes. We are going to look at the cold mechanics of the machine. We are going to ask the precise, unsettling question: what exact function does this self-inflicted torment serve? Because nature does not waste resources. Evolution does not build an internal interrogation room unless it is extracting a toll. Your brain is not malfunctioning when it blames you. It is executing a program, a dark one, an ancient one, and it has no intention of stopping just because you ask it to. To find the origin of the prosecutor, we have to look past the modern architecture of the mind and trace the wiring back to its source. In the older layers of our biology, survival was not an individual achievement. It was a collective hostage situation. To step out of line, to miscalculate a move, to fail the group in the deep grass meant abandonment. And abandonment in the ancient world was not a metaphor. It was a termination of breath. How does a species prevent its members from making the fatal error of defiance or failure? It installs a proxy executioner. The brain blames you as a preemptive strike. If the system can make you suffer the punishment internally, vividly, and agonizingly before the group ever casts you out, it assumes you will correct the error. It uses self-loathing as a leash. The sharper the internal pain, the tighter the grip. The hidden mechanism is that the inner critic is not a foreign enemy trying to tear you down. It is a blind mechanical warden. It does not care about your happiness. It does not care about your peace of mind. It cares exclusively about compliance and error correction. And because the algorithm is ancient and crude, it cannot distinguish between the loss of a tribe on the Pleistocene savanna and an awkward silence in a modern room. It fires the same chemical panic, applies the same heavy iron of blame, and treats every trivial human imperfection as a mortal threat to your existence. It is a parasite living in your language, feeding on your remorse, convincing you that if you just punish yourself hard enough, the warden will finally unlock the door. But the warden doesn't have a key. It only has a whip. Here is a deeper, stranger secret to this self-blame. It is the terror of randomness. The universe operates without a ledger. A child breaks. A life collapses. A ship goes down in a calm sea. There is no reason, no justice, no hidden score being kept. There is only raw, indifferent physics and blind chance. The human mind cannot bear this. Your brain would rather confess to a monstrous, unforgivable crime than accept that the world is a lottery. Because if the tragedy is your fault, if you caused the ruin, if you brought down the storm, if you failed to prevent the unpreventable, then the universe is not random. It means the disaster had a cause. And if it had a cause, it means you can control it next time. Self-blame is a desperate, dark magic. You tear yourself apart on the altar of remorse. Because you believe that by claiming the guilt, you hold the steering wheel of fate. You whisper to the dark, "I am the villain, but at least I am the author." It is a terrible trade. You forfeit your innocence, your clarity, and your quiet, just to avoid facing the sheer, blank indifference of the void. You become the perpetual prisoner of your own courtroom, chained to a desk, signing confessions to crimes you never committed, all to maintain the illusion that the world makes sense, and the machine grinds on. You spend decades locked in that internal trial, reviewing the evidence, hating the defendant, and the silence outside the courtroom remains absolute. The storm does not know your name. The past does not care about your penance. So what happens when the trial runs out of evidence? When you realize the prosecutor is just a blind piece of code, looping in the dark, recycling the same ancient fear over and over. There is no triumphant resolution. There is no sudden dawn or washing away of sins. The mechanism simply stays what it is. The voice may still rise in the empty room, pointing at the old stains, whispering of guilt, demanding a defense. The difference is only in the listener. When you see the machinery for what, it is a relic of an old survival panic, a reflex of a brain terrified of the dark. The trial loses its jurisdiction. You do not fight it, because fighting is just another form of participation. You simply watch the gears turn. You watch the shadow play on the wall of the skull. The courtroom is still there. The documents are still stacked on the table. But you do not step back onto the stand. You leave the chair empty. You leave the papers unread. And you step through the iron gate, out into the vast, indifferent, silent space that was waiting all along.